This video is going to walk you through the process of adding items to the class exhibit. So what you've done so far as a group, and what you should have done to this point, is upload the digitized items to the Omeka website. So if you were to go under items or collections, you could see that those items are there under your group headings. Now that's just the first stage, and the next thing that you need to do is make sure that those items appear as part of the class exhibit. It's your opportunity to actually tell us a little bit more about what these items are about, so that when users come to the site, they actually can get some context and understand why you think these things are interesting, what the story is that you're trying to tell about them. So if I go to exhibits, you can see the class exhibit, and all you have to do is click on Edit for Public History 497. So you do have administrator powers, but my suggestion is, and more than a suggestion, please do not edit the exhibit metadata. So you can skip all of this stuff, and all you need to do is scroll down to where it says Pages, and that's where you can edit and add the content that you need to. So the first thing you can see is that there is a menu item heading for every group. And so your first job is to go and edit that and add some introductory content. So if I were to click on the Spracklen murder, it's going to take me to this page where I can do some editing. So here is where I can add some text that basically tells people a little bit more about this collection that you've digitized. So why is this interesting? What's it about? Give us some introduction to this content. And you can also add some teaser images from your collection that you think are interesting by hitting Add Item. So you can see that there's 11 pages of stuff because you've all added a lot of content at this point. All you have to do is click Search and search by collection, select your specific collection, and then search. And that will just reveal to you the items that are relevant to your group. So that'll help you sift through some of the stuff. So if there's one of these things that you think is kind of interesting, so I'll select this one. You can give it a little caption. And so essentially that has added that picture to this page. And you can add more items or pictures as you see fit. The text field here is for you to add some interesting information. So what is this whole Spracklen murder thing about, or what is the Assumption College papers about? So it's a landing page that's supposed to give introductory content to people for your pages. So I'm just going to say test, and I'm going to save changes. So remember, anytime you make changes here to these pages, save them or they're going to disappear. All right. So the next thing to think about, and I'm going to click here on Public History 497 to get back to this page where I can add and edit pages, is that you'll probably want to add more content than that. To do that, to create a new page, you just have to click Add Page. And the next thing that you need to do is to actually select what type of page you want this to be. So I'm going to call it test. And it could be a page that's some text with an image. It could be primarily an image gallery. It could just be a sort of textual page where you have a longer written segment. Or you could have a geolocation or a map. Now, you don't necessarily have to do anything with neatline or neatline time. Those are options there if you want to take a look at them, but that's something that's a little more complicated that you'd have to do separately. So I'm just going to choose this one for now, and I'm going to add new content block. So select what you want, and then add new content block. And again, the process is the same. You can add items and say something about those items. Right, so why are you looking at these specific things? What part of your collection is this? Why is it interesting? What are you trying to tell people about? What's the historical scholarship that you're trying to do here? Of course, I'm not trying to do any historical scholarship right now, so I'm just going to say test, and I'm going to save changes. So it's going to tell me that that was successful. Yay, congratulations. And I'm going to go back to the public history section here again. So you can see that this page I've added has just been added to the bottom of the list. But what we want, as you can see here, is for this page to be associated with my group's page. So then I'm working as a sample on the Spracklen murder, so all I need to do is drag and drop it. So you can see this little icon over the link. And I'm just going to move this up under the Spracklen murder. So the next thing I need to do in order to make sure this page is associated specifically just as a submenu item of the Spracklen murder is shifted to the right. So just indent it just like that by dragging it over. And when I save changes, that's pretty much it. So if I scroll down, you can see that this is underneath that. So the last type of page I want to show you is the map page. So I'm going to add a new page. And I'm going to select geolocation and add new content block. Now, what's going to happen when I add an item, if the item I have selected has a geolocation code with it, and this test one that I've done does, then where that is tagged is going to appear on a map once I save this page. So if the items that you have uploaded do not have the geolocation tag added to them, then you're not going to be able to use a map because there will be no way to know where it's supposed to go, where this image is supposed to be associated. So that's something that you can go back and edit by clicking on items and clicking on any of the items that you've added and editing them to add that sort of geolocation. So I'm going to save changes. I'm going to call it map, and I'm going to save changes. So when I view the public page on this particular item, what you can see is that a map will load up and a pin will appear that relates to the location of this item. And if I click on it, you can see that item pops up so I can get a look at it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to public history 497. I'm going to scroll down, and again, I'm going to move this map page up. And just for the sake of argument, I'm putting it under the Spracklen murderer. So when I save these changes and I view the public page, what we're going to see now is that your group headings are here, but not all the sub-content is visible at this point. If you want to know more about this, you'd have to click on the specific group. So I'm going to click on Spracklen murder, and you can see here's my landing page with my basic information. And I can look at the sub-menu items. So I can look at the test page, I can look at the map, and that gives me that extra information. All right, so the job again is to go in and tell us a story about this content, to sort of expand on this, explain what your collection is, and to bring it together in a way that is interesting for users who are going to come and look at the site and want to know what this stuff is about. And this is how you would add that content, essentially. All right, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.